Hello, my name is JD and welcome to Nidiots. This is a ranking video. Today we're going to be doing a ranking of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And trust me, this is a very unique ranking. There are actually certain movies that I don't think anyone will put in the position that I'm going to be putting them in today. The number one's probably a little predictable, but let's do it. Most people will put, Freddy's Dead or Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake at the bottom of their list, but not me. For me, it's a Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I just really don't like this movie. It's so MTV-ish. And I found it the hardest one to sit through. It is probably the most boring, and when it's not even fun, that's when you know a movie sucks. Because some movies are so bad that they go higher on your list just because they're so bad they're good. Where if you're boring, you've done something really, really wrong. And that's what this one has done for me. So, part 4 is at number 9. Okay, now at number 8 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Just another one I didn't find very good, but I found it a little bit more enjoyable than 4. People will sometimes even put this one at the bottom of their list. It's not at the very bottom, but it's definitely in, it's pretty close. It almost made the bottom. But, the reason why I put this one at number 8 is just it's not very memorable. So at number 7 is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. This is the one that most people put at the bottom of their list. Why do I put this one a little bit higher? One reason, it's so bad that it's good. If you look at this as a serious Freddy movie, yeah, this is definitely the worst one of them all. But if you take it as a parody of Freddy, if you think of this as a parody movie instead of an actual direct movie in the franchise, it's actually really enjoyable. The 3D glasses thing is just stupid because they just, threw that on as the end just to get a few more dollars. But if I had to pick the best part of the movie, so from here on, I'll probably tell you what my favorite bit was because they all had at least one memorable scene in each film from here on, where I think, yes, technically in the 4th one there was that motorbike scene, but it's only good if you can see the completely uncensored version of it. But anyway, on this one, the hearing aid. And actually, no. Let me rephrase that. On this one, it's actually Spencer. There's something about that trippy one here in Garden Vita. It's just, really good. And you got a cameo from Johnny Depp. Although I will say, when it comes to makeup-wise, I think this is the worst-looking Freddy. Number 6 is A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake. This one was also kind of boring, where a lot of people didn't like the whole pedophile thing. I actually kind of liked it because it made Freddy unlikable again, because you didn't want to like him too much. They made him too kid-friendly, by the end of it. He was not literally kid-friendly. I'm not saying kids watch this. Kids have watched it, but I'm not saying, bring a 4-year-old would be great. But they gave you a reason to dislike Freddy and want him to be killed. If I had to pick the most memorable part of this one, it would have to be, honestly, the opening kill when the guy's, slowly driving the knife into himself. I just really like that scene, but if I had to say what the biggest mistake was that this one made, it would be trying to be the first movie too much. Straight up, the hand coming out of the bathtub scene, and Freddy pushing his face against the wall. The saddest part, it was done better on the original. Practical's always better than visual, in my opinion. And that's why Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is at number 6. Alright, top 5 people. Now, I am curious if you put this one higher or lower on your list, but at number 5, it is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This was, I think, personally, from here on, every Freddy film is really good. Not all of them are rewatchable to the sense I can watch them multiple times a year. There's only one that I consider rewatchable yearly. I love the whole movie within a movie sort of thing, where he's stalking the actors now, and he's a demon that's taken on the image of Freddy. That's the persona he's chosen to take. And to me, this one feels like a real beginning of the Scream franchise. I get real Scream vibes. It's like this one was trying to be Scream before Scream, so in my opinion, it was ahead of its time, because I don't think it was a very good Freddy movie when I first saw it. But when I got older, I like it more and more every time I see it. And probably if I ever did a re-ranking of this, 3 or 4 years from now, maybe it'll be higher. But right now, it's at number 5. Alright, at number 4 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This one is very enjoyable, and I actually consider it more rewatchable than some that follow after it. I just don't find it to be as good. So you got some movies that are more rewatchable just because they're more fun. But then you get other ones that are actually better films, but they're not good on second watch. But this one is very rewatchable. Oh, and rewinding again, because I have a habit of doing this a lot. The best scene from New Nightmare is when he kills the girl in the hospital. You know, the rehashing of the original kill from the first movie. It's just great. But anyway, my favorite kill on this one would have to be the sports teacher when he gets killed in the shower. I just found that really amusing. And yes, with this one, they really try to make Freddy a much more different type of character on this one. And if you look at him as, if it was just 1 and 2, it's okay. But if you go back to the whole franchise, it really is the odd one out. And apparently had a nickname of a Nightmare on Gay Street because it was unintentionally a very homoerotic movie. Yeah. At number 3 is Freddy vs. Jason. Now, some people wouldn't put this so high on the list, but as a Freddy movie, it is just brilliant. And the funniest part about it, Freddy kills one person in the entire movie. Jason does all the killing. But the reason why I put this one so high on my list is this was my first horror movie I ever saw at theaters, and it was also my first date ever. I was 12. It's great. She cuddled me. But the best scene of the movie, see, I'm not going to say best kill, because not necessarily, but the best part of the movie is the climax. The final fight between Freddy and Jason is just, wow. Like, if you don't like most of the movie, if you ever tried to watch Freddy vs. Jason, you turned it off because you didn't like it, I will say, just go onto YouTube and watch their final fight, because that final fight is the only reason why it's so high on the list. If the entire Freddy vs. Jason was like what the first hour of the movie is, honestly, it will be much lower on my list. It is that finale that brings it so high up on my list, and that's why it is at number 3. And it is my most rewatchable Freddy movie. Alright, so very typical, you know what the last two are. It's 3 or 1. Which one is my number 2? It is the 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street. It is a brilliant film, and I think everyone should watch it, especially if you're a horror fanatic and you haven't seen it. First off, why are you here? And 2, why haven't you seen this? This is probably, in my opinion, the scariest Freddy you will ever see. Well, unless you count New Nightmare, but I think New Nightmare's Freddy will probably be the most intimidating one to see, but I think there's something about this one, the way his attitude is, it actually is kind of scarier. And for me, the most memorable part of the movie is Tina's death. Hands down. Robert Englund's first appearance as Freddy was just perfect. Almost perfect. And that's why it's at number 2. Alright, so at number 1 is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. This is a perfect nightmare movie, hands down. It is set in this insane asylum where all these kids that have had bad dreams and nightmares have come here to basically try and isolate them from the rest of the people, and they're the last of the Elm Street kids, or Woodsboro. But you have Nancy returning, which is a really good thing. John Saxon returning as the dad, only in a minor role. And of course you have Robert Englund doing, in my opinion, his perfect portrayal of Freddy Krueger. It is the perfect tone of horror with humour. And it's just balanced so well, and you actually got memorable characters on this, and that's the best bit. What is the best scene of the movie? In my opinion, it's the prime time bitch. I just love that kill. It's so simple. But then again, if we're going by most creative, I'll actually have to say the most creative is the puppet on the strings. But my favourite kill is Prime Time Bitch. And that is why it is at number 1. So that was my list of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Do you like the list? Do you agree with the list? Comment below and let me know what you would order them in. Anyway, I'm JD, you've been watching Idiots, and JD out.